Hi guys, I'm Sadie with the Spokane Hot Rod Girls. We are down at the Rock Ranch studio testing out our beautiful new Cycwall with Darrin and Brian and Scott's beautiful blue Cobra.
So the biggest question is, Scott, why the Cobra?
Yeah. Growing up, we were all these car kids, Hot Wheels models. We had this conversation earlier, and then I just remember, the cars in the neighborhood. The '68 Camaro down the street, the Dodge Chargers, the Mustangs, and then never saw a Cobra before. Watched that movie, The Gumball Rally,
Yeah,
and then they're tuning that car up, and I didn't know what it was, and they never really say what it is in the car in the movie. They say some things get meaner with age, and because the Ferrari guys are kind of mocking him a little bit. But then I watched that movie, and I figured out over time what the heck that car was. But to me, that was the coolest car I've ever seen in my life. Probably late high school into the military in my 20s, 30s. I used to subscribe even to a car called Kit Car Magazine because there's a lot, there's no way I was going to get an original Cobra. I mean, they could be well
oh,
over a
millions.
million dollars, and then you're not going to drive it. And so the best thing is to put yourself in something you can afford or build yourself, and you can drive it and get that experience. The raw car, no radio.
How often do you actually drive it then?
Well, since I got it back, I drive it quite like on my days off. If it isn't raining, I'm out in it at least, once or twice, but just even to go, just to go drive around. But so that gets back to the when wasn't I driving it?
When aren't you
Exactly.
driving it?
Yeah, you've got a hell of a story.
Yeah, I bought. My uncle passed. I was talking to one of his buddies that he used to race with about my uncle, and then he has a collection of cars, a T-Bird, old Ford wagon, and he's an old race car driver, and he lifts the back of this cover of this car, and it's the Cobra. He goes, this beauty's for sale here, just in case you're looking. And I contacted his wife on Facebook, and I said, okay, so what does he want for the beauty? And then we negotiated a price, and I bought it. And just driving around like an idiot for like a week, just like I was getting away with something, stupid grin on my face. Driving home, I went to Dick's Drive-In downtown, got a milkshake, it's fries. I had the milkshake between my legs, driving down Wellesley. Just a beautiful day. It's sunny, summertime, and I'm driving down Wellesley, which is a 30-mile-an-hour speed zone, and I'm in the front of a group of cars, and all of a sudden, something catches my eye to my right, and it's a car, and it's coming, and it's a stop sign. I'm on an arterial. She's on a side road, and I just get ready to swerve, and then I realize the front end of the car is not diving down. There's no brakes being applied. And all I could do at that point, there's nothing. If I would swerved, it still wouldn't have made a difference. I held on, and she just hit my car right in the passenger front wheel, going full speed, like
Oh
30
my
miles an hour.
gosh.
And thank God there was no oncoming cars because it put me all the way through both lanes of traffic, almost into the fire hydrant on the corner.
Wow.
My forward momentum spun her in. She went in through a fence, over a sidewalk, and up through a fence. So this is my first week owning the car.
Did she walk away from it? Like,
Yeah,
is she okay?
she's other than ruining my life, she's
Yeah.
fine.
And Scott contained himself enough he didn't go out and kill her.
Literally ran across the street, thinking
Forever remember her face though.
growing up in Hilliard, I just made the assumption it was going to be a hit and run. She's going to take off, and she was slumped. Then I turned back into maybe a decent human being on the way to her car, seeing that she was slumped over the wheel, her airbag deployed. I did open her door, and I asked her, I said, "Are you okay?" And she says, "Yes, I think I'm okay."
Before I strangle you.
And then I said, "Please,
Get out of the car.
please tell me you have insurance." And she says, "I have insurance." And then, because there was other help and people were stopping, and
De-escalate.
I went back to the other side of the street and sat on the fire hydrant and waited. And somebody says, "What do you need?" I said, "Call the police. Get the police coming." Because, yeah, so I went and just
Oh, what a
sulked
devastating deal. I mean,
on the corner.
A week.
Would have been crying
I sent
for
the
the car.
original owner a picture. He just texted me after the accident. He goes, "How's that Cobra?"
Oh man.
And I sent him a picture, and he goes, You could tell he
Thank you.
took.
Heading to
There's
the
a
shop.
I
pause.
think you texted me too, and
Yeah.
I said, "Do you need bail money?"
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because I was like, "My God."
He's like, "Is this a joke?" But yeah, you could see it was. Where are you at? I told him.
Ugh.
Yeah. So took over 2 years to get it back. So 2 years later, after a long extended trying to find an expert to do the body work, and then the body shop needed a fiberglass guy, and then just post COVID, them struggling to have enough workers to fix the car, I finally get the car back. And what I did to keep myself busy was went from gray interior to black interior. I arranged that all myself, pulled the old stuff. I've had somebody made it, make new stuff, a new shifter boot. I had the dash redesigned. I pulled the shape from the old dash, and then I imaged it, and then had Cobra in Spokane water jet me a new
It looks good.
engine
It's
turn
beautiful.
dash, put Ford switches on it. It just had generic switches before. So that's kind of my stink on the car. So now it's back. It's running great. I'm driving it a lot. I bought it to drive it, not to.
So through that, what's your favorite change that you have added to it, like a modification or anything? Do you
I-
regret doing any?
No, because the originals, in my mind, the images, the interior was black, and then the only reason the guy I got it from, he bought it that way, and it had somebody was autocrossing it, and it had some kind of dumb looking high back buckets, and he switched them back down to the lower Cobra seats, but he left it gray because he felt like that the sun was going to beat up the seats and stuff, and he's not
Get
wrong.
warm, yeah.
But when I picture them, I want black. So Factory 5 had these original replicas of original seats made in leather in England, actually, and then they get them imported. So I ordered those from them, and then I had a TNT on market. They're an upholstery shop. They just did all the carpet. So that's my favorite thing, is the interior change. And then I didn't know if I would like that dash being. I thought it might be too shiny and distracting, but I like that engine turn. I
Black
think.
carpet and stuff, it
Well,
calms everything
I
down.
kind of thought, what could I do to the dash, and I moved some gauges around, and I put toggle protectors in, and made the racy kind of look, and the um I considered like a burlwood, and then somebody said, "God, it's too British, Scott." Then no. And so one thing that would have been potentially, and maybe not the whole dash, but definitely the race history of Cobras and Carroll Shelby, engine turning was a thing. I mean, there was on a lot of parts and toggle panels and stuff. So I thought the engine turn, I am very happy with that.
Yep.
I think it looks really cool in that car. You do feel a little vulnerable, though. I do feel like I know I can take a hit in it, since I have. I won't. I thought it would
It
just
sits so
explode.
low.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would explode into 100 pieces, And thank God it was a car-ish. It was like a little like crossbreed car or whatever. If it would have been an F-350 or something, I mean, who knows? And if my daughter would have been with me, she was gonna possibly go. I don't know what would happen to the
I
passenger.
mean, you got a solid frame under it. It's a pretty beefy frame.
It's
like you
complete.
being fiberglass.
It's a race car underneath. I mean, it's got 4 corners, adjustable coilovers, the biggest sway bars I've ever seen on a car. And so it is, and it's got sticky Mickey Thompsons on it. I mean, it is a race car, but you're in a little shell. I mean, you wear the car.
and you're low,
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
you said.
you feel
A big
vulnerable.
tall truck or something, or a big
Yeah.
big car.
So yeah, for
What's it weigh?
about as much as a Miata, about 2,200 pounds or so, somewhere in that neighborhood.
yeah, and my van's like 3,000.
Yeah.
For a reference.
Yeah, so it's light.
Yeah, that's very light.
It gets out of its way. And it's not radical. I mean, if I was guessing 400 to 4.25 horse,
Is the blue your favorite color of those?
blue's my
cars?
favorite color, period. And so any variation in the Cobras that were blue, they had some that were more like, I don't
It
know.
originally came in that color when you received it, right?
Yeah, it was this color. But Cobras commonly were blue and white, or white and blue. And there was some reds and stuff, but
And blacks.
blacks,
Right,
yeah.
I
But
see black.
Pretty limited on the colors back then.
but to me, the Cobra has to be blue and white.
Yeah.
And I did think about they called them meatballs. So this is an old term. So like back in the days when they were racing at Daytona and places, they had a big round white circle on the car, and that's where your numbers went. So no matter what color the car was, it had a big white
Yeah.
meatball on the side, and the numbers in it.
Popular one was Herbie the Love Bug, had the big.
Herbie the
Yeah.
Blood Bug had a meatball, but So I thought about sticking a meatball on
Usually
this
it was
thing.
on the trunk, wasn't it?
Well, they had them like on the side, like usually on the top or the trunk.
Yeah.
So they were varied, but the ones on the side were the bigger ones.
Mhm.
And you might have a smaller one on the
Like,
trunk.
I like the plain look of it. We shot some pictures today where we toned down the blue a little bit, and then just the rim of the blue was glowing.
Yeah.
And I think if you would put a lot of stuff on there, you'd take away from that. I really do.
Yeah.
I like how plain it is because
Classic beauty.
it's just sexy. It's just
It's
its
a curvy
stance
chick.
is good.
It's got a
What-
fat butt.
It's the way it's supposed to be.
So I noticed you got a sticker on there on the car
On the
on
back or the
outside,
dash?
the back.
So the back is it's a HHR sticker, and it's kind of our anyone that grew up in Hilliard, probably referred to themselves and went to Rogers High School as a Hilliard Hellraiser at some point. At least those that had raced some hell, I guess.
Mhm.
And so I had these stickers made, and all the car guys I know, I'm like, hey, put these on your car. And so
Yeah.
I had them made a while back, and so I was trying to find a good place. Where do you put it on this car? I thought maybe does it go on the roll bar? And it didn't look like, but they went down into the white stripe, and the barrier of the sticker is white, and so it just faded right into the white, and it looks good down there. And I've had a few people
Yeah.
mention, "Ooh, you got your sticker down there," and
Well,
that's
it's the same
good.
thing with the van. I put one on the van door. It's not on the outside, but when you
Yeah.
open up the door, and everybody's like, "Oh, Hilliard Hellrose," and then you get the same old story from everybody that kind
Right.
of knows,
Yeah,
And so it is kind of cool because it puts a little bit of individuality of you into the
Yeah.
car.
Mhm.
and
know.
I did stick one on the dash too. I don't know if you noticed. There's a sticker, the right side of the dash. You got the cockpit.
Yeah.
Like from the shifter to the left, you got all your gauges and everything, and there's this big space where a car might normally have like a glove box.
box.
So I put a little. I got I used kind of the basis of a shield, kind of like the old Union 60. What was it? The gas stations. See, it wasn't Union. That was
Yeah, Union
76.
76.
No, this was Phillips
Oh,
66.
Phillips. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So same font 66, and then above that it says Cos, because my last name's Cosner, and my uncle and my dad, all their friends called them Cos, and so a little homage to my
Especially
uncle.
during the racing days with their dad.
Yeah, so my
Yeah.
uncle and dad used 66, so it says Cos 66, and so I stuck a little. And my uncle was a Ford racing guy, and he was racing when these things were popular, and so I told him I wanted to build one of these, and he's like kind of grinning and his nodding his head. And so a little tip of the hat to my uncle Jim.
Yeah, and I remember us talking, a long time ago, that you wanted to build one and you were going to buy the kit because at that time you
Right.
were kind of looking at the
Right.
cost of them, and they were outrageous back in those days. I couldn't
Yeah.
imagine building one in today's world with, the catalog parts being so expensive.
I think the only way you get away with building one of these and like really controlling your costs is like I have a vintage small block Florida 289 that would go in this car just fine, and I would do the paint work myself. Now I'm a master painter, nope. But as long as you get somebody that you can get to help you a little bit with the body work and rubbing it out and color sanding it and buffing it, that's where I would need the help.
Mhm.
So I think that's where I figured I could build it at a reasonable price where I wasn't underwater immediately. Being underwater, we all accept that as hot rodders, and because we know we want what we want,
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter if you can't sell it for that. We want the car we want, and
Mhm.
and we all know that.
Right.
So, but that is where I figured I could make it happen. And
Nobody does it for the money.
all right.
well, yeah, you'd never do it for the money because you'd be broke real
Right.
quick.
Yep.
Well, it looks cool in here. We had the GTO in here first. Your car's the second one
Well,
with the Cobra.
How fitting. I mean, for my perspective, so I grew up on the same block as Darrin and Brian, and their dad drove that car to work every day. He got snow tires on the back of that GTO.
Yeah.
And then it got parked next to the house, and it threw a timing belt, if I remember correctly, and it sat next to the house. And then your dad just got some small beater
U-joint.
car to drive
Actually, it was
to.
a
Yeah,
U-joint.
Oh, a U-joint.
Yeah.
It was something simple.
Yeah.
And I remember wanting to buy it and going, oh, and of course the amount they wanted was 800 or whatever it was. It was so much money back then. And I remember it going away, and then Brian finding that car again to the people that bought it, and they had done a lot of restoration work. So when Brian got it back, I thought, wow, how cool is that? And then for it to be the first car in here, especially because your dad near the end was very into
Very
going to
supportive.
all the Spokane hot rod stuff
Yeah.
and very supportive of photography. So
And I specifically asked him if he would be upset if we took a portion of the inheritance and put into the studio. And so Dad just told me, get the best. And so,
that's so fitting that the GTO
yeah.
was the first car in here.
Mhm.
Well, and that goes back to the reason why you're in here, because we keep getting people saying, well, when can we come in? When can we come in? And it's like, well, Scott actually helped
Swung
build
hang
the
the
conference
drywall.
a
room
little
and,
bit, yeah.
do some of the stuff in here. And, of course, being
Growing up together.
growing up together and raised as a car person with us, it just hands down, you bring in the people that are close to you. And then studio wise, I mean, hell, there were days I couldn't lift a board, and Scott came over, made time, came up. He was putting the rafters up in the
Yeah.
conference room here because I physically couldn't lift them. And so I appreciate it. And,
yeah.
so this is kind of our thank you. And
I appreciate
your
it.
car is beautiful on the
Beautiful.
sidewall.
It looks so good out.
Oh.
The blue pops on that white.
It's gorgeous.
And whoever picked the blue, I mean, I don't know what color blue that is, some cobalt or whatever, but it is right.
Yeah,
It just that white and blue, and it looks so good against that stark white. It wakes it up. And your guys' photography work and you coming in for the day and Sadie and just
Which I absolutely appreciate.
having fun. I mean, it was fun.
It's been
We
a
all
blast.
had
It's been
a
a
good time.
blast.
It's super cool.
yeah.
So.
And going forward, we want to bring, obviously different cars in. And of course, we're going to start with friends and family and close people with Spokane Hot Rod and all that. But we're also going to be bringing in a hot rod girl to come in and kind of, have fun
Spruce
with
the
us.
car up.
It's a different environment.
I think it's interesting. You guys so for you guys that weren't here all day long, these guys have this process they're just figuring out. And so, you get the car kind of in a staging area, just on the lip of the concrete, just shy of the thing. And then we're shutting it down because you don't want pipes popping smoke or black marks on. Then we're rolling it in on pieces of cardboard up to the final pieces of paper.
Pushing.
And then
Barefoot.
does
In our
your
socks.
does your car have any leaks? And mine did. And they were over at my house. He's got a slow leak right below his rear end. And so they put a piece of paper there because you don't want to ruin.
It's an actual process
Yeah,
to get it in here.
So it was pretty interesting to sweep it off and get it ready.
We're gonna have marks. So like Sadie at one point
Yeah.
accidentally stepped on it with just a
Oh,
bare
bare
foot,
feet.
and all of a sudden we got a barefoot mark on there.
Yeah.
And some of that
Gotta
stuff
mark the
does.
territory.
Oh yeah. Some of it does wipe off with Windex and stuff, but we know we're gonna have drips, and we know we're gonna have a whoopses, and and that's just part of the fun. If it was all cookie cutter and perfect, then
It'd be
nobody'd want to come in.
Mm-hmm.
But first thing you did when you stepped on it, we're all like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And it just adds to the character of the cyc wall, and we're all having fun.
Well, the potential and what you guys put together here is just going to be better and better and cooler. The more ideas that are thrown at it, what are the possibilities are just endless, probably. Different lights, different.
I like the fact that it's different.
Mhm.
And we've shot literally 140 some thousand photos in, since 11 years since we started Hot Rod Girl stuff on the photography, Spokane Hot Rod, 140,000 photos. And I could take pictures from 2014 at a car show and show you a 2025 picture, and you can't tell the difference. It's the same venue. It's the same grass, the same trees, the same cars even. Some of them are even the same cars.
Small community, a lot of hot rodders.
Yeah, and people appreciate it. I'm not saying they don't appreciate the pictures, but how many pictures
of the same car can
at
you
a
get?
car show?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're not by yourself. You're in a line of cars with hoods up and stuff. I hate going to a car show and taking a picture of a car with a hood up.
Mm-hmm. No,
Because
this
it's
brings
like
the individuality to the actual car, to the owner.
I want a cool picture.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, unless it's like a blower or some, obnoxious motor or something that you're really paying attention to that. I like the sleekness. I like it by itself, where it can actually speak to you instead of just saying I'm one of 10.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And those group shots are cool, but this really is cool where you can just isolate the car.
Mhm.
Well, we're getting our steps in line. I think we spent what 6 hours with the
Yeah.
GTO. And,
Without the hot rod
Well,
girl.
think
yeah,
about
and
it.
we got
Yeah.
500 photos in 2.5.
Yeah.
It's like a
So
sterile
that-
environment. It's like being in a lab.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
It's
I
perfect.
mean, so yeah, and then the GTO is the GTO. You get to see every line, every curve, every
Mhm.
square,
I mean, there's
seam,
there's some downsides to it all because for us to take the car out and maybe do the back end pictures, we'd have to physically pull it out of the shop, spin
the
it
car.
around,
Yeah,
do the whole process to bring it in.
because the Cobra's got back.
Yeah.
It wants to show its back.
That's what I'm saying. And maybe next time when we're bored and we want to bring it in, we can just actually pull it in.
Yeah,
And then we'll do some fun,
yeah.
shoot type stuff with it. But I actually bought those wheel dollies that you can slide in and then you crank the handle and it picks the car up.
Yep.
But we can't even roll a camera stand over it without a line going on it.
Yeah.
So I was just,
Those rollers would
Yeah.
mark it. Yeah.
it would be perfect if you could just go and then
Mhm.
4 or 5 guys
Move
just
it
turn the
around.
whole car,
Mhm.
maybe turn it 3/4, then turn it the opposite side. And maybe there's something that I can maybe you know uh super clean the wheels and only use them on the sidewall. I don't know because it is durable if it's clean.
I think if you do that, you're just going to be relegated to the fact that you're going to have to digitize the marks out. It's just going to make marks, and you're going to do it.
I
It would
think
be
the
super easy to
Black
do.
wheels are still market.
I don't
no
think they're
matter what.
black. I think they're orange wheels. They're not rubber. They're
And anything
Poly,
will work
yeah,
with all that
poly or
weight on it,
whatever.
though.
I'm gonna try it. When I know I've got the painted sight wheel, I'm gonna pull a car in, whatever car,
Yeah.
Mhm.
van if I have
Might
to,
as well.
Just to test
and then
it.
just to see how much it marks or not. And and maybe I can put painter's tape 5, 6 times around it and do it. I don't know. It would be neat if we could just not have the same pictures all the time
Be
because
able
we're
to
kind of
rotate.
stuck.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're
Absolutely.
kinda
Maybe the Blue Man Group could come in and help you out.
Yeah, it'd be neat. And
Yeah.
I think we knew what we were doing this time. Where the GTO, we were like walking off the steps and kind of trying to see, well, how much more cardboard do we need? I went in the back and was cutting cardboard strips and trying to get it in. So, I mean, like Brian said, we were 6 hours with the GTO, and this time we were 2 hours and got double the photos. The car was in quicker. We could have even sped that up.
Even the lighting,
Sure.
we had 6 lights on the GTO, and I think we only had 3 going today.
Yeah.
Well, and some of those photos you guys shot from the side were a single light. And they'd turned all lights off in the shop and went with a single flash, and it looked like we were in the daylight. They're
Mhm.
perfect shots.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's pretty incredible.
Well, we learned early on with the GTO that the more lights you put in, the more shadows you got.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So we're
add
like,
more to
oh,
count.
there's a shadow over here. So we add another light. Well, okay, you've
That
kind
just
of
creates
fixed it,
another
maybe.
shadow.
But then you got another shadow over here. Okay, let's add another. Well, 6 lights later, plus, 8 stage lights, and then 2 main lights, and a perimeter light. We had checker shadows everywhere because there were so many,
Mhm.
so it was like I was looking at the 200 some we did take. The first photo we took without any lights was probably one of the best photos of the GTO we
Yep.
took. And so we're like,
Simple.
we're really thinking too hard on this.
Mhm.
You know,
simplify it, yeah.
And then we put the softbox on because when you're shooting people, of course, the models, Sadie, she's not going to want a hard light on her. She's going to want a little bit of soft light. Well, that adds a whole different effect to it. And that big of a light did light up the whole thing with
Yeah,
one
it's pretty incredible.
simple light. So
You wouldn't know it, if you're the outsider, that you shot this in the dark,
Mhm.
it's pretty cool. Photography's cool.
and the way you
It's
turned
an
on
art.
the marker lights, and then Sadie was getting down low and kind of do a little bit of the pinup style stuff.
Yeah.
That was different. I mean, I don't want Brian doing a pinup
I-
thing,
I
with the
think-
GTO.
I don't
but-
want me doing that thing.
But when we're
I don't
done,
know. I might be to see it.
I think it's just that teenager, like I remember always like at dusk or anything, you didn't want to quite turn your headlights on, but your marker lights look cool.
Mhm.
And I thought, just that little amber, just what will that do? Just add a little pop to it, and it looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
cool. That was a good idea.
Well, then the brake lights lit up behind on the
Right.
on the wall
They were
behind
kinda-
it.
It was cool. Made
They're
it kind
different.
of look like it was going down a tunnel. It was cool. Well, have you named her? Him? Her?
Oh, I have thought about that. I don't really have one yet. I mean,
Well, you got to know the personality of the car
yeah.
before you
I
name
mean,
it.
I guess
Homemaker?
one of
Yeah.
hey, one of the things I saw the other day made me laugh, and I'm on these forums now for people that own replicas, and we talk about parts and how'd you do this or what are you running for this? And then this little commercial came across, and it's like I think the company that made the original body, AC Ace, they're making some sort of car in England, and it showed this guy, he's like wearing his Dockers or his little nice polo shirt, and he gets in and starts the car. It's got wire wheels, puts it in gear, and
Oh man.
he's like going into like a golf tournament or like a country club, and I immediately commented to the group. Somebody posted up on there. It's like, I'm sorry. To me, a Cobra's got to be a little offensive. That guy.
It's got to be a hot rod.
He shouldn't be
It's
driving the
not-
Cobra.
He's wearing his wife's panties,
Oh my gosh.
and he's pissing me off because this guy's looking all snobbish.
He's
I mean,
everything it's not.
what that
It's
guy
not a
should have done in the
Cobra.
Cobra, he should have revved it up a little bit, and he should have put a couple of stripes in the grass
Yeah.
at the
Coming in
at the country
sideways,
club.
Ripped
and
foam.
and someone should have thrown a tray of champagne glasses or something. That is not a
Probably should have had a mullet.
that's not an idle into the country club car if it's a Cobra.
Yeah.
So if it's gonna be a gal, it's gonna have to be a little offensive or a little aggressive or a little edgy, because she likes to go fast and she's a little loud. So I'm giving it some thought. I'm not really
Does,
sure.
You
does
know.
she have a drinking problem?
Probably not, because you get out of control pretty fast in that one if she's got maybe just after hours drinking problem.
No, I'm talking about the car itself.
The car has a drinking problem. It is a gulper. So yeah, it's carbureted. So highway and you put it in fifth gear, it'll just purr right along it with no RPMs. I mean, it's very highway geared. So could I get some gas mileage out of it? Yep. But it likes to be in that power range, and it feels funner. So yeah, I've gone through a few gallons of gas.
I think your foot likes to be in the power.
Yeah, it
range.
does. It sounds really growly at like 3,000. And Dave, the guy that owned the car before me, one of the improvements he made, he said it just didn't feel that powerful. And he put a set of SVO heads on that 351, and he says he almost got 1,000 more RPM out of it, just putting some good springs and valves in that thing, and it likes to rev. I mean, so when it's up around 3 to 4, it's just got this mean. It sounds like you need to shift, but because you're not even up close to the red line yet, so it just sounds good.
Yep.
And so, idling around in first gear, you still got, you're still going good. In the neighborhood 20. There's no reason to come out of first gear.
Mhm.
It sounds good. Yeah, but it's a little. It just it's got the right sound. I mean, it's the right loud. Every car.
Well, you get the side pipes on.
It's like a Harley Davidson if you're a motorcycle guy. It just
Yeah,
sounds
rumble. It's beautiful.
right. Everybody feels it, and you're like.
Well, when you pulled up out front, we knew you were here. We didn't have to see you.
Yeah, it just sounds mean,
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe there'll be a role model from a movie or a singer or something. I'll think of somebody. It's like, ooh. What for Brian? Oh, I've been blathering on it. What? So you've had 2 experiences in here now. What in your mind? What's a thing? What's a thing that you want to do next? What's something? What new stink or angle do you want to put on something
I
here?
just think it's cool that we can take buddies' cars or cars that we like and give them a photo that they're not going to get anywhere else, especially in this area. There are no cyc walls. There's smaller
agree.
ones. But we can do this for free for the fun of it. And this guy's going to have that. I've got 11 by 17 posters of some of my cars on
Yeah.
my walls.
Cool.
And that is pretty cool that they can take that and enjoy it.
I'm finishing a outbuilding now that's essentially going to be a man cave, and I've collected pinups for years, and more of the 40s, 50s, Betty Page-ish stuff.
The original one.
A lot of stuff, and so I guarantee you, one of these pictures is going in there. So you're going to be in there with all the pinup girls, and so because it's what I like. I mean, and so I've got a bunch, and not a ton of wall space here and there, but yeah, that's what I like is in my man cave, if you want to call it that. But
Well, Sadie, you had a bunch of outfits today, and actually, the one that Brian picked in you, the white dress.
That one turned out really
I
cute.
was thinking, we got
The
white
white- the
side
white-
wall, you got the white stripes, you're just going to disappear. But the way the softbox lit the white at a different white,
Yep.
it was
Give it an
brighter.
elegant look.
Just
Pretty.
worked.
And then going back to what you were saying about, I like the elegant look of the gal
Yeah.
with the car.
and she comes out at one point and she's wearing a skirt with a Motorhead concert T-shirt, black
Fishnets.
with fishnets, and I thought,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
because she's also got ink and it's attitude, and I like that attitude with what you wore.
Yeah.
Motorhead. I mean, come on.
The best
Yeah.
of both worlds.
Motorhead.
Well, like I said, I
Both
it's just
both interests.
Motorhead is even in the rock and roll world is obscure. They're edgy. They were not.
They were the
They're
badasses.
not today's flavor
Mhm.
ever. They were
Hard.
rock and roll
Mhm.
and middle finger to everybody,
yeah.
and they did their thing. They didn't get into the glam. They lived through it all, like AC/DC. That's the caliber of that band.
Yeah.
They're just. So when she had the Motorhead shirt on, I was like, okay, that's cool.
You can only shoot so many shots with one outfit. You
Yeah.
got to bring that variety.
Well, and you've changed it
when you
up
need
too.
different looks
Like
too,
you
like
said,
different
the-
Well,
views.
and you looked comfy out there too. You look like you're into it. You looked.
Excited.
It looked, and when she's smiling, you meant it.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. So no, it was. She looked natural.
Yeah.
And
Sadie's
fun.
very easy to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the weirdness.
Fits.
Yeah.
No, and like I say, with all the modeling experience you have with friends, other photographers you've been working with, it shows. You coming in and shooting the multiple things. Scott, I know, likes the pinup style, and I knew the ink would be perfect. I'm more of a glam look.
Elegant.
Brian, I don't know what you are.
I can't say that on camera.
Yeah, we
First
don't
thing
shoot
Talk
that.
about
First
that.
thing that
we
came
don't
to
shoot
mind.
Yeah. But no, I appreciate you coming in and willing to change up a little bit and fill all the aspects of the different styles with the car. I mean, how
a lot
many
of fun.
pictures can we take? We took
was a lot of fun.
500 pictures today
That's
with the
good.
car in the same
Got to
position.
be at least one you like.
You know what though? We all of us were looking and almost in agreement, like probably 6 or 7 times go, that is
That's the
perfect.
picture.
She
Stands
loved it.
out.
You loved
Yep.
it. I was like, whoa, look at that. That's perfect.
Mhm.
And so we all had moments, and they were almost the same. That were like, that's just everything worked. The lighting, you, the
Yeah.
car, everything just was. There was perfect moments. For those that don't have the perspective, like Brian's he's got the screen, and he's clicking, and then Darrin would take the solo camera every now and then
Moving the camera.
and move
the
up or down,
lights.
and then we all could see a big screen television on the wall. For those of you who have not
75
seen,
inch.
and so he clicks the shot, Brian does, and he sees it in front of him, and then we see it like 3 seconds later on the big screen.
Yeah.
And so that's how we were making a lot of our comments, like, oh, look, that perfect. And then she could even see it for most of the time,
Yeah.
and then she could know, okay, I need to move my chin this way, or that looked
Mhm.
better. But that immediate gratification and able to analyze it, and then Brian could even zoom in and go, oh, was there a shadow on our chin? And Brian would zip forward,
Right.
and we
Or
could
seeing
all see it.
focus. Yeah.
And we could all see it, and Darrin would be like, "Oh yeah, you got it perfect, Brian." Or let's change the f-stop or the whatever. And that was amazing, just watching how you've
Well-
got this studio wired up.
I like the
You
fact
guys are a
that
good team.
everybody is involved.
Okay. And 3, 2, 1.
Face a little bit more.
That's just this close to the other poster, yeah, so.
3, 2, 1.
I like it.
Okay, do some photos here. So we'll just float down.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna blow through a bunch. Scott, can you move the C stand and then aim it toward her?
This?
Yeah.
Yep. Which one?
Toward you. One more? Yeah. And 3, 2, 1. And 3, 2, 1.
Try. Let's see if there's any comfortable position you have like that. Then you'll recognize that it's at least her legs.
That's better. Go back to where we were.
That?
Probably try.
Trying. It looks better than it did.
Yeah,
Take a
probably.
picture in a minute and you won't even know.
It's probably gonna dry. Yeah, I figured.
Go just a little bit more, like,
Oh, right there.
like line, hot, you know, leave that. I don't want to keep-
Make them look a little bit Libyan back there.
Come on. Oh, you're close. Ooh, look at the blue.
And I think it brings out that color.
Oh, wow, look at that. Holy cow.
All right, Brian, come toward me, so I can get the front.
Pretty sure you're in set pretty good in the end. All your devices.
Come on up, I mean, stand up, but.
I'll get front.
Really, I'm sorry, don't say that. Put it on. Okay, put the line, see if we got it.
You're right.
Right.
And then if you want to stay on it, I turn towards passenger side a little bit. Stay.
Very good. You gotta like this line.
Yeah, we're good then. Fair enough. No, straight down.
You're smaller, so not that easy.
Look at what's on my dude.
I get part of you here. Good one. Close. Okay, stay. Maybe the two off-colored ones.
Ethan?
Yeah. And then only two big ones. You know, right here, one right. Yep. Wait, and last part. So,
What you got?
yeah, let's go ahead and put it here. No, leave on the other. Okay, I'll put it here. So we need something that basically said who you are, who we're with, what we're doing.
Do you want me to do it? Do you want him to do
Yeah,
it?
you'll do it
Yeah,
because
there.
you're the spokesman. So
Let her rip, tater chip.
My brain just went
it's going to be only you, so you're not going to see us.
time.
The video's going to start. It'll be you on the camera, only you on the camera, and this is what you're going to say.
It's gonna be you guys, not me, not me. My little heart.
Deep breath.
Anxiety.
Just talk to me.
Don't talk to him.
No, but they're staring at me, so.
Oh, it's weird right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cameras aren't in there.
Oh, not there. Okay.
That's why we do it at the end.
I can't do it. Like, I could never be an actress. Hi guys, I'm Sadie with the Spokane Hot Rod Association. I'm down at the Rock Ranch studio with Scott, Brian, and Darrin. We're shooting Scott's Cobra today. I don't know what else.
Okay,
good. That's not bad.
Spokane Hot Rod
Spokane
Association.
Hot Rod
Spokane.
Association. Hi guys, I'm Sadie. We're down at the Rock. Oh my gosh. we were gonna
No,
do a
you're-
Well, don't
retake
take it.
of
You're doing good.
last
No,
time.
No, you're doing good.
That was fine.
Oh man. Hi guys, I'm Sadie. I'm a Spokane hot rod girl, and I am down here at the Rock Ranch studio shooting with the Hot Rods Association with Darrin, Brian, and Scott shooting his beautiful blue Cobra, and I got nothing else. Hi guys, I'm Sadie. We're down at the Rock Ranch studio. Oh my goodness, my brain just farts.
No,
Hi guys, I'm a spoke. Oh my goodness, I cannot do that. I need like paper. Like this helps so much.
And
I would not.
we got a blooper reel to
I
film,
know. I
you
was
know?
about to say it.
We got a blooper reel to film. Yeah.
Hi guys, we're down at the Rock Ranch studio. I'm Sadie with the Spokane Hot Rod Girls. We're with Darrin, Brian, and Scott, and beautiful. Oh my gosh. You guys, we gotta go back to Lacey.
So beautiful.
Lacey is beautiful. She does this good.
Lacey screws up too
Lacey's
because
had
we
it.
make sure she does.
Yep.
Brian screwed up last time. I cut most of them out, but
Oh man.
and I screwed up a little bit too in the beginning.
Hi guys, I'm Sadie of Spokane Hot Rod Girl. We're down at the Rock Ranch studio with Darrin and Brian and Scott shooting his beautiful blue Cobra.
That's fine.
Hey guys, I'm Sadie at the Spokane Hot Rod Girls. We're down at the Rock Ranch studio with the brand new Cyclorama shooting Scott's beautiful Cobra. I'm with Darrin and Brian, and I don't know. So I take pictures.
Yeah, I wasn't bad till the end because then you forgot what you were saying.
It's like, I don't know.
And I'm not looking at you, so.
Okay, Hot Rod Girl Sadie. We're down here at the Rock Ranch studio breaking into Psych Wall with Scott's blue or beautiful Cobra. Pretty simple.
So sorry.
Pretty simple till you're in front of the camera.
Well, I was in front
I
of
was
the
going to say you do it. You say it.
I screwed up last time.
I'll
It's your
just
turn to
wait.
screw up.
Hi guys, we're at the Rock Ranch studio with Darrin and Brian shooting this beautiful Cobra of Scott's and the brand new Psych Wall. Oh my gosh, I forgot my name.
Okay, roll.
Ugh. Hi guys, I'm Sadie of the Spokane Hot Rod Girls. We are down at the Rock Ranch studio testing out our beautiful new Psych Wall with Darrin and Brian and Scott's beautiful blue Cobra.